All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about a massive change in how software gets made, a practice that's part revolution, part serious risk. And it's got a great name, vibe coding.
So just think about this for a second. What if, instead of typing out thousands of lines of code, you could just describe your idea, in plain English, and a fully functional app just appears? Sounds a little like sci-fi, right? Well, this is quickly becoming our reality. So what is vibe coding at its core? Well, it's really a shift away from writing code line by line. Instead, you're just describing your intent. You tell an AI what you want, how it should feel, how it should work, and the AI does the heavy lifting, translating all of that into actual functional code. I love this analogy. Traditionally, a developer was like a craftsman, meticulously carving every single piece by hand. But with vibe coding, the developer becomes more of a conductor. They're not playing every instrument, they're setting the vision, guiding this AI orchestra to create the entire symphony. Okay, so let's talk about the first edge of this double-edged sword. The incredible, almost unbelievable speed and efficiency you can get. This is the promise of vibe coding, and it's the part that has everyone so excited, and honestly, for good reason. Get a load of this. Research from Anthropic found that using AI assistants can slash the time it takes to finish a task by an average of 80%. I mean, think about that. A task that used to take, say, 90 minutes, now it's done in under 20. That's not just a small improvement, it's a total game changer for productivity. And that 80% number, it's not just a fantasy. It's real, especially when you use this power for the right things. It's amazing at what you'd call low entropy tasks. Work that's really well-defined and predictable. Things like whipping up a quick prototype, building a self-contained app for customer management, or just automating all that tedious work of writing tests and cleaning up old code. And this is not just theoretical. Listen to this. A team built a complete custom system, a CRM, inventory management, currency integration, the whole shebang, 100% with vibe coding. It makes the potential feel incredibly real. But with this kind of speed, there has to be a catch, right? And this is where the story takes a sharp turn. We've seen the incredible speed, but now we have to face the music and look at the hidden cost that comes right along with it. So what's the price we pay for all this acceleration? Because in software, just like in real life, there's almost never a free lunch. Yeah, the best way to think about this is like a credit card for technical debt. You get the cool features you want, like right now, which feels amazing, but you're borrowing against future stability. And that debt, it piles up with compound interest in the form of bugs, maintenance headaches, and a really fragile system down the road. And this debt tends to show up in four main ways. You could call them the four horsemen of AI tech debt. First, there's comprehension debt. I mean, if you didn't write the code, do you really get it? Then architectural debt, where the AI makes some really poor design choices. Of course, you've got security and performance debt, because the AI might just skip over best practices. And then there's this totally new monster to deal with, prompt debt. And this idea of prompt debt, it's really fascinatingly dangerous. It happens when our instructions to the AI are just too vague, or maybe the AI model itself gets an update, and suddenly our old prompts don't work the way they used to. And you can see here, simple instruction-based prompts are a huge source of this debt. It's like building your house on a really shaky foundation. And here's the real kicker. The AI's incredible speed becomes a multiplier for mistakes. A single bad architectural choice that it makes on day one can be copied and built on hundreds of times by the end of the week. You end up with a deep systemic flaw baked into your entire application at a scale, well, a scale we've just never seen before. Okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. Now that we understand the risks, let's talk about the playbook. How do we actually use this incredible power without falling into that debt trap? Well, it all comes down to a fundamental shift in what it means to be a developer. This lays out the new reality perfectly. Look, a developer's value isn't just about writing the code anymore, the how. It's now about designing the whole system, the architecture. That's the what and the why. And it's about becoming a super strict auditor of what the AI spits out, checking for quality, for security, for coherence. So this all requires a new way of working, a new governance model. Step 1. Humans design the blueprint first. You lock in the architecture before the AI even touches a single line of code. Step 2. Then you use the AI as a tool. to fill in the small, really well-defined parts. And step 3, and listen, this is the most important part. Nothing gets into the system with a strict, mandatory human review, period. So here's the playbook in practice. For each type of debt we talked about, there's a direct countermove. To beat comprehension debt, you enforce those human reviews. To stop architectural debt, you get the design approved first. But what's really interesting is how you handle security and prompt debt. The answer is to fight AI with AI. This is the new frontier of quality control. We're talking about using specialized AI-driven tools that can automatically run thousands of tests, perform deep security scans, and sniff out vulnerabilities in AI-generated code way faster and more relentlessly than any human ever could.
So where does all this leave us? Well, we're clearly standing at the beginning of a brand new chapter in software development, and it's one that's going to require a whole new mindset.
If you take just one thing away today, let it be this. Vibe coding is a paradox. It is, at the same time, the most powerful productivity accelerator we have ever seen, and the most dangerous technical debt multiplier we have ever faced. And the outcome? It depends entirely on how we choose to manage it. And that brings us to a final, really critical question. If an AI can write the code, then what is the true value of a human software engineer? I mean, what is that job even going to look like in 5 or maybe 10 years? I think the answer is right here. Success won't be measured by the lines of code you can write anymore. It'll be measured by the quality you can command at lightning speed. The future isn't about how much code you can personally produce. It's about your ability to define a vision, to govern an incredibly powerful tool, and to demand the highest possible quality at a speed we once thought was completely unimaginable. That is the future of coding.